Hello everybody, it's me, Nikki, and today I'm here with my January wrap-up. First, I will talk about, what is it? The audiobook I read. It's called Oversea Under Stone by Susan Cooper. It is a middle grade fantasy, and it is part of a series. And it's about, I picked it up because I liked the last middle grade fantasy I picked up, which is the Chronicles of Prydain. And I really enjoyed it. I'm going to try to see if I can listen to the rest of them sometime. But this is about the three Drew children who discover an ancient map in the attic of the house that they're staying at in Cornwall. So it's set in England, and their uncle Mary, I think his name was, and they call him something really cute that I can't remember, like Grimary, or because he might even be a great uncle, so he's like Grimary. I don't know. They're Simon, Jane, and Barney are the children. They're so cute and so smart. And it was originally published, I've seen this before, in like 1965, and then she wrote sequels like 10 years later, which I think is really cool. And then the sequels are about other people, and then the Drew children merge with them. So yeah, it sounds really great. I really enjoyed it. On my Cowpile sheet, I gave it 5 stars. Because I thought it was great. There's a dog in it. The dog is amazing. Best boy ever. He's smarter than everybody. I'm just saying. And then, I had big plans in January to read a lot. I found Holly Hart's books did a thing where she talked about, it's not a reading journal, it's almost like a reading log, where she would like pick up a book and read at least 50 pages, and sometimes she read more, and then she would, mark it out. Like on the first I read 60 pages, and then on the second I didn't read any, something like that. So I picked that up, but I decided to read 100 pages, and that really helped me. I read basically 3 books back to back to back, but I think that was also my problem, because I'd read these 3 books back to back to back. By the time I got to Blackfish City, which I didn't finish in January, I was sort of burned out. So I'm going to continue this reading 100 pages, but I think I'll try to take a break between each book, just like a day where I don't read and just have like a breather, because I feel if I do that, then I won't take a break of weeks and not reading anything, because it felt really good to read all those books, but then it almost felt like overwhelming, like you gotta keep it up. So I think having maybe even 2 days, but don't let it go longer than that, would be really helpful. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Grimspace by Anne Aguirre. This is a science fiction adult. This is a new series to me, and I gave it 3 stars. Oh, and on Cowpile, you can make little notes. And so for Over Stone Under Sea, I said Rufus is the best doggo, which is true. And then Grimspace, the notes is more romance than I wanted. I didn't realize that I think I knew there was going to be some romance, but I thought this would be more space, because it's about Sarantha Jax, who has a gene that allows ships to jump through Grimspace. But they don't even really tell you what that is. And it's usually only in women, and they usually die pretty young, but Sir Jax is 30 something. And before the book started, the ship she was in crashed, and the evil corporation, the Corps, blames her. And she gets saved by a mysterious man named March, and he breaks her out, and they want to break the Corps monopoly on interstellar travel. And it was a lot more romance than I wanted, and it was a lot more like interpersonal stuff. I thought it was going to be space fantasy, kind of like Firefly maybe, or something like that. But it was more romancy, and it was fine. But I did look up what happens in the other books, which I always like to do, and I guess it goes off the rails at some point, and it's not enough to keep me going with the series. But you know what? It was okay for what it was. I was expecting more. That's all. More science, less romance. Next, so I will be unhauling that. Next is You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen M. McManus. This is her newest book. That is Ivy, Cal, and Mateo. They used to be really good friends up until, I think, middle school or something. And then they drifted apart for various reasons. But on this particular day, none of them really want to go to school, so they all ditch and with each other, and they don't know anything about each other anymore. And then they stumble on to a murder of a classmate. And then they sort of have to figure it out for various reasons. And I liked this. The mystery part wasn't as murder mystery as some of her other books, but I thought it was still really good. I liked the characters. There could be a sequel. I said that about Two of Us Can Keep a Secret as well, which I think would be fun. There's also, trigger for, Cal has a relationship with his teacher, a female teacher. Both of them say nothing happened, like not kissing, not anything like that, but they had been seeing each other. So he is 17, I believe, so it is underage, but nothing explicit happens in that. And I also like how she does this and a lot in the books that I've read anyway. I haven't read the cousins, where something will be mentioned, like Mateo has something happened, point A, and then people will mention it throughout the book, and then point A will come up later on, and it sort of like connects all those things that it has been mentioned in. So I like that. Everything that is mentioned is mentioned for a reason. I always enjoy that in books. They're not necessarily related to the murder mystery. It's more of the interpersonal stuff that it connects to. But yeah. I also really liked the secondary characters. Ivy's best friend, Emily, is really fantastic. And there's these two guys who do like a web news thing for the school that sort of they take off with this murder mystery. So yeah, it was really enjoyable. What did I give it? I can't remember. It's a thriller, young adult. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. So like, it wasn't the murder mystery that let me down. I wasn't let down, it just wasn't as, like in One of Us is Next, or Two Can Keep a Secret, when the reveal happened, it was like, oh my god. But this one, it was sort of like, oh yeah, you could kind of see that coming. You know what I mean? So it wasn't bad, but I would still recommend this if you've read her other books, because it was great. It was really great. And then the last book I read was Nemesis Games by James S.A. Corey. This is an adult science fiction. I gave this... Oh, it came out to 4 stars. And then my notes, what the fuck. That's my notes. I think I even made a TikTok about that, because what the fuck. So this one, I think I guess I did give it 4 stars, because our main 4 characters are not together until like the end of the book. They start off together and then they all split up and go their separate ways. And while it was interesting because you got to see some of Naomi's backstory and Alex and Amos, however you say that, because Amos goes to Earth and Alex goes to Mars and Naomi goes off somewhere else. So it's interesting to learn more about them, but it wasn't as like fun because the family wasn't together, if you know what I mean. But I really enjoyed it anyway. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's a trigger, but it's also a spoiler. Multiple asteroids do hit the Earth and cause a cataclysmic event. And I'm saying this because it triggered me, because I have anxiety. I don't know why I have anxiety about this, but I do. And I thought other people might as well. A lot of people do die, obviously, but you don't really see it. You kind of do, but you kind of don't. But yeah, that does happen. I'm not going to tell you when or how or who does it, but that does happen. So you could probably... They don't even really show it. You just sort of find out that it happens. But Amos is on Earth when it happens, and he does sort of live through a couple of days or maybe longer of dealing with the fallout, literally. And of course, the badass is in here from the... What's his name? Oh god, what's his name? He leads the OAP, and he is a badass, and people are afraid of him, but then they're like, oh yeah, we can just walk around him, and it's like, Fred Johnson, that's right. He is in it. He is amazing. The Earth's ambassador, Christian Alvarez, I think. I can't remember her name. Christian something. She's in it. Love her as always. Bobby Draper is back in it. Love badass Bobby Draper. Yeah, and everybody's basically a badass in their own way, and just, you know, shit, they do not fuck around in these books. I mean, people die, obviously, and this, whatever happens to Earth is gonna have consequences for the rest of the book series. I'm pretty sure the whole series is gonna be that TikTok meme of emotional damage, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, I can't, like, a lot of sci-fi stuff, you would be like, avert the asteroids or avert the bad thing. Never happens in these books. The bad thing happens, and then they sort of fix it, and it's kind of not fixed here, because... And then it doesn't even end happily, because they always have, like, a little epilogue of, like, what's gonna happen, and it's not pretty. It's not... So the next book is also, I'm assuming, going to be what the fuck. But I do recommend these to people, even though they are massively what the fuck and traumatizing at times. So those are the books I read in January. 4 isn't bad. I wanted to do 5 to 6 a month, but it didn't happen. But maybe with my new plan, it'll go better. Hopefully, cross my fingers. So anyway, that's February. March? No, is it? I can't remember. I always think it's March that the fantasy bingo thing happens, but it might be April. So that'll be a nice, looking forward to trying to make a massive TBR for that. But I think that's everything. Oh, again, at the end of all my videos now, if you could like, subscribe, and share, or whatever order that's supposed to be in, that would really be great. I'm trying to get to at least 100 subscribers this year. So yes, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.